Mr. Walker, thank you very much for accepting this interview in Euronews Albania.
It's my pleasure.
Mr. Walker,
I always like talking about Albanian affairs.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Walker, you have witnessed the Rečak massacre, which was a turning point for adding the genocide and repression by Serbs to the Albanian population. Today, how do you read such similar accusation against the former leader of Kosovo Liberation Army?
Well, I don't see any connection really between what happened at Rachak, which was a massacre committed by a sovereign government's military and security forces, a very brutal massacre executing 45 unarmed men. That's very different from what I understand are the charges being brought by the special prosecutor in The Hague.
And in the already confirmed indictments, the Kosovo Liberation Army is considered a criminal enterprise. How would you comment on that?
Well, I haven't seen that particular iteration of the title. The Kosovo Liberation Army is exactly what that title stands for. It was a group of young people mostly who decided they were tired of the oppression, the war crimes being committed by the government in Belgrade, and they took up arms to defend themselves, to defend their villages, to defend their families, and that resulted in a war. I think that would be a rather strange use of the word terrorist to describe the KLA. If I were to use the word terrorist, I would say that was the denomination I would give to the Serbian armed forces, the police, the paramilitaries, the types like Arkan and his group of militia that came in and did some very horrible things in Kosovo.
Kosovo was liberated as an alliance of the West with KLA to stop the Serbian genocide. In your opinion, what is the purpose of this trial today, after 21 years?
Well, as I understand it, even though I don't understand it completely, the purpose is to look into acts that were committed by KLA fighters after the war, after the Serbs had been chased out, after the NATO bombing campaign had succeeded, after Kosovo was liberated, and this special prosecutor's office is claiming that atrocities, war crimes were committed by the KLA, and they are trying to prosecute a few people who they have identified as being culpable. What we're talking about is so far, I think it's 5 that have gone to the Hague, including the President Thaci, former Speaker of the Parliament. My memory goes with me.
Kadri.
Yeah. And then the third one, and then 2 others. So there's 5 in total. One was actually a field commander, Joaquin Krasniqi, who I knew, met several times during the war, was not a fighter in my estimation. He was a spokesperson for the KLA. And Thaci was obviously not a fighter. He was a political head of the organization. So, you know, and then hearing that they had a 7-hour, what do you call it, a break into his home. They seized his home over the weekend and went in for 7 hours and searched it. They did even more time in Krasniqi's home. I just find the whole process kind of strange. To me, there has been no similar effort on the Serb side. We just had an election in Serbia in which Mr. Vučić came out doing very, very well. And Mr. Vučić was the propagandists, the Minister of Information of President Milosevic during the worst time of the genocide. I have heard of no one accusing him of anything in any sort of formal legal process. And I just find the situation is very asymmetrical. The two sides are being treated quite differently. And the irony is it was the winning side that is paying the price, and the losing side, Serbia, is not being held to account for the horrible crimes that it committed and the people on my mission witnessed.
Yes. Mr. Walker, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to communicate together in this interview here in Euronews Albania. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.